The Gauteng Finance MEC, Lebogang Maile, has allayed fears that the province is on the verge of bankruptcy. He revealed that 68% of the adjusted 169 billion rand budget has already been used. The MEC joining us now for a detailed explanation of why he once again has to explain the talk, or at least reporting, that the province of Gauteng is slightly going to go belly up in the not too distant future. MEC, good afternoon to you. Why do you believe, I know you've addressed this before, but why do you think that there is insistence on some parts of the media that the province of Gauteng is either bankrupt, if not yet, it is though going that direction? Why do you think there is insistence on this kind of reporting?
Good afternoon. I think thanks for having us. Compliment of the new season to you and the viewers at home, and happy, peaceful, healthy and prosperous new year.
Thank you.
We had to convene a press conference today to respond to media articles. One of them was on Citizen. It was an opinion piece. And simultaneously, there was another one on IOL. And subsequently, we were then asked for questions by several media houses. That's why we thought, no, let's rather have this press conference. So I wouldn't know why would people perpetuate this allegation when we dealt with it twice last year. You will remember there was a press conference where we were misunderstood, and we had a press conference, clarified it. But also when we presented the midterm budget policy statement, we clarified this matter. So it seems there is someone somewhere, we don't know who and for what reason, who's trying to create an impression that we are not capable of running the provincial government and that things are not in order. And that's why today it was important to give a comprehensive response in the statement. As you looked, we even gave you the numbers, where we're sitting in each department, the biggest cost drivers being health and education. They are on track, they're doing well. Schools are opening next week. We anticipate that there's going to be more kids than anticipated, because some of the kids don't, or rather parents don't register their kids on time.
Yes. And
they come in school, and all those things are going to put pressure on the system, and will be required to provide additional stationery, additional desks, additional classes, and all that. And we will deal with that at that time. And I think the MEC of Education will be able to provide an update, because we have adopted a school readiness plan as the provincial government, which explains what is it that we'll be doing when the schools open. So we are always ready for any eventuality as the provincial government.
MEC, I'm not going to ask you to delve into the amount of detail you went into today. I think those that would have been watching earlier would know this already. But can we focus the attention on the big spenders? 80% of this budget is consumed by education and health, as you've put it. I want to ask the question differently. Are you satisfied with how these two departments have spent the money? Is it money well spent?
From where we are sitting, there are no big problems. I'm saying there are no big problems. There will always be challenges in all the departments, not just these departments. And that's why we've got two windows period. Firstly, in March, when we present the budget, and then secondly, in November, when we adjust the budget, if there are unforeseen and unavoidable circumstances. You will remember in the adjustment budget, we gave Department of Health an additional 600 million We gave education an additional 300 million because there were unforeseen and unavoidable circumstances that had arisen. And as a result, we were responding to that. Because you'll also have to appreciate that health and education are always under a huge strain because of the numbers that comes to our province. There's about 50,000 new learners that comes to our schools every year. There's about 230,000 new people who come to our province, and they all want health services. They want their kids to go to schools. They want houses. They want many others. So Gauteng, it's a province that is affected by in-migration and urbanization, and that finds expression in most cases in health and in education. That's why they will always be under constraint. And we are happy that they have been spending the money that we have been giving them, and there's not been any red light so far.
All right. The e-toll question has come up, and it is in part what you said at that media briefing, that this is going to be a major problem for the finances in Gauteng. How big an issue is the e-toll debt repayment and how it is structured?
Well, we will pay the e-tolls. We can we can assure the public. That's the first thing, which is about 20.1 billion. And the structuring, it's that 12.9 is the main debt, 4.1 billion is the maintenance, and another 3.9 or so is the interest that we are paying. But I must add that e-tolls is not the only challenge we are facing. As you know, we've got accruals, which we raised this previously. We also have budget cuts because you know that there are three sources to our revenue as a province. Firstly, it's the equitable share that comes from national, and that budget has been cut. And secondly is the conditional grants. Some of them have been cut. Thirdly, it's our own revenue, and our own revenue is also raised within the constrained economic environment. So all in all, we have huge budget cuts that we are facing. And unfortunately, the demand and the needs of the people are also growing. So we always have to look at how do we best use the limited resources at our disposal to meet the ever-growing demands. And that's what we are dealing with on a daily basis.
All right. MEC, there would not have been a chance that I let you go without delving a bit into politics. It's a final question. It would seem your tweet this week, or at least over the weekend, is something of a premonition that it's a foregone conclusion that the Gauteng province is going to be disbanded by the ANC National. Is that your view?
Well, I think it would be ill-disciplined to speak about ANC matters. I'm not the spokesperson of the ANC. The ANC as a spokesperson in the province and national, that's the first thing. But the second thing is it will also be ill-disciplined to talk about ANC matters, whether in public, in a platform like this one, or on social media. But there's issues of public discourse, like people who are accusing us of not managing the provinces properly and expressing their own views about how the ANC must operate and all that. We always respond to those people. So the matter that you are raising, I think it will be best responded to by the ANC National Executive Committee through its spokesperson or through the Secretary General.
It is fighting talk in your tone, though, although I am going to give in to what you are saying and respect that.
No, what fighting talk? I'm fighting with people who are taking the ANC. I'm not fighting with the leadership of the ANC. You'll never fight with the leadership of the ANC in public. I expressed my views in the structures of the ANC. If you don't know, Dolly, I'm not one of those people who gets into the meetings and keep quiet and then get out and say something else. So if there's any view that I want to express, and I can even write directly or call any leader of the ANC. So there's no need for me to grandstand and behave like a brave hero. No, the things don't work like that. I'm just explaining to you how things must happen. On the issue of disbandment, it must be dealt with by the appropriate structure. I don't have that authority. It will be out of order and ill-discipline of me to respond to that.
The grandstanding, is that in reference to the Secretary General of the party, or am I thinking up ideas here?
Grandstanding on my part.
Grandstanding on matters that affect the ANC right now, particularly KZN and Gauteng.
No, what I'm saying is if there are specific issues that the leadership of the ANC is not happy about and how those issues are raised and all that, they will manage them. And I think so far, the leadership of the ANC has been managing the situation properly.
All right.
And if there's any issue that has to be raised, whether with individuals or with the structures concerned, they will do it. And I don't think we should be tempted as individuals to respond to anything that the organization says, because when a leader of the ANC who's elected speaks, and whether they reprimand us or they express a view, we can't respond in public, whether we agree with that view or not. We must use the proper channels of the organization. And anyway, from where I'm sitting, there is nothing wrong that has been said by the Secretary General of the ANC. He says there has to be discipline in the ANC. We all agree. And he says that there has to be order and people must not speak out of turn and people must articulate the position of the organization. And that's what must happen. That's what any leader of the ANC would say and would have said.
Lebogang Maile, thank you very much for your time. The NEC of Finance in Gauteng, and also taking the opportunity to talk to him in his capacity as a leader of the ANC in the province.